Alright. Alright, hey guys, you there?
Kaiju X, my dogs keep attacking me for attention.
Dig blast. Birdman, no. But yeah, no. Alright. Gotcha.
Kaiju X, how come I can't hear you?
Oh no, I'm here. I was just typing. But yeah.
It's the ghost, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. Aww, poor GVR at a family gathering. This is the only family gathering you need.
Like, can I hear y'all?
You relatives. Anyway. Alright, you there, man?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Yes, I can.
Alright, sweet. Now, dear gosh, where are we? Where do we leave off?
We left off at Gamma versus Armored Titan, I think.
Yeah, that's right, because that came out that day. KWCEs, I don't think,
I think we only have the one to talk about, which is the most recent one.
We did Gamma versus, Reich.
I think...
Yeah, so it's just 59 you talk about.
Right.
Oh.
Alright, so we have... Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm going to try and avoid, like, speaking too loudly. Okay, so 298 to 301, and then KWC. There was one that came out today, but unless you all read it, we might not talk about it. Just save that for next time. But if you all did read it, then... Yeah, if you all did read it, if we have enough here to say, oh, you know, we all read it, then fine. So, and I'm going to try and keep my voice down a little bit. There's a dog in the room, so if you hear any weird background noises, that's just an old little dog, so.
Yeah, same here. I have 2 doggos in the room, and they have been simping for me this entire time.
Sounds about right. Anyway.
Yeah, no, scroll up in the general thread, and you'll just see the...
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. But yeah, no. I think we will wait. Oh, that was Nagoda.
Oh, what happened to Nagoda?
He just disappeared. No, Nagoda. No.
God, reduced to atoms.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's right. Because we did go over last month's KWCE. Yeah, that's right, because that went live before we had the podcast. That's right. Let's see. That's right. Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox.
Where are you seeing that? I don't...
That's the thumbnail for the last KWCC.
Oh. Oh, the iris?
Yeah, the iris one. That was golden. Yeah, that's right, 290. Yeah, 290. 58. Okay, so yeah, so we'll just focus on the most recent KWCs and our thoughts on the Gamma month and all that fun stuff. So.
Will Greyshot be joining?
No.
Damn.
That is his answer coming out of Birdman. Anyway, no. I contacted him about it. He said he should be available, and I notified him like 15, 30 minutes ago, so...
You should call him a clown if he doesn't show.
Don't we always call him a clown, though?
Yeah, but, for a clown, he isn't even that funny. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, lordy. Anyway, yeah, no. Okay, yeah, no, we're literally just gonna go over the KWCs. If you guys want to go, like, maybe even have a quick read, because it's not that long. The recent KWCE isn't that long, so, yeah, I'd say, if you guys have thoughts on that, I'll either sound them off in the chat and go from there. Anyway. And yes, I've been recording pretty much the time since I hopped in here, so it's all good.
Ah.
Alright. Nagoda, are you there?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, it's working.
Alright, sweet. Alright, so...
My phone is being dumb.
Okay, that explains a lot. Well, we're good.
Also, my computer has been updating Discord for the last hour.
Oh, no. Ooh.
Yep. Stuck downloading update 1 of 1.
Oh, lordy, that's not good.
That sounds kind of cringe.
Was that really warranting the Solid Snake impression?
Shut up. Otacon, how big is your chode right now?
Oh, lordy. Alright. Anyway. And with that said, I think we will begin to proper. So, anyway, let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to this month's KWCC. I am your host Kaiju, and with me today I have Fat Bacon Unicorn, GVR who's stuck at a family gathering, Nagoda, and no sleep for you, Birdman. And today we are going to be diving straight into our KWC shenanigans with the latter half of the Gamma month. Really? Really?
God damn it.
Don't you mean gushed on it?
No, because I don't censor myself.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I know this video I wasn't planning on doing too many heavy editing, but gosh darn it, that's... Oh boy, that's worth almost pasting it up itself. I'm not even gonna say. Just we'll just move in before this gets any weirder. Oh, good grief. Anyway.
Oh yeah, by the way, Kaiju X, are we going over the what's it called, the KWCE as well?
Possibly, maybe. We'll see by the time we get to that KWCE.
Alright, I'll make the banner just in case.
Alright. Yeah, I don't...
At least if I make the banner, you'll have it for next time anyways.
Yeah, totally. Oh, man. Dang blasted. Anyway, but yeah, our first lineup in the latter half of Gamma Month, which 297 ended with Gamma versus Armor Titan, which was really good. That one was super good. And today, we will be going over the last 3 matches of Gamma Month and the most recent KWC as of this recording. And we got some really neat stuff to say. So, match 298, Gamma versus Iris. Written by Matthew Fries and the wonderful banner by Landon Soto. Wow. My gosh. This one, I remember... I remember a little bit of a kind of personal history with this one, because after 296 went up, Greyshot was kind of like, hey, I kind of need some more quality Gamma matches. I'm not sure the ones we have would really fit with, sort of like the higher standard quality he was trying to go for. And it was like, yeah, Alex had sent me 2 matches, like within that like a span of like 2 weeks or something, like within the last 2 weeks or so, or I can't remember the exact date, but like he had sent me this and Armor Titan 1, and I was like, okay, no, here's what we'll do. Well, I'll give you these 2. I looked them over; they were really good. And it was like, hey, and then we just rearranged our original plan. So there were originally 2 very different matches for the Gamma month with 297 and 298. And yeah, 298 we have, from Matthew Freeze, aka GVR. This is a really interesting sort of setup. It's a desperate situation that obviously neither of them would really live, but it's all about putting an end to all of it. It's just kind of like a good old case of it's the final showdown before everything ends, settling the score once and for all. And I really like that premise built upon the idea that Gorath is going to destroy the Earth. That's fantastic. I really love that idea and its implementation within the match. It's fantastic. It is wonderfully done. The characters are represented very solidly, and I know it's hard to say with a really good match, because it's like everything it does to me, it does right, and if there were any problems that stuck out to me, I'd acknowledge that. But I don't really have like too many sort of criticisms to offer, because I like the way it played out. I like how it ended, and it's sort of like it ends on a weird downer. I guess it would be a downer ending with the destruction of the Earth, but it's still sad. It's still like fulfilling in a way. So yeah, no, this one's really good. This one is really good, GVR. Kudos to you on that. Not fully a downer ending. But yeah, no. We'll take it over to Fat Bacon Unicorn. What did you think of 298?
Very, very, very well written. I really.
Thank you,
bitch. Okay. So I thought it was very well written. The whole premise was very good. I really liked the dire situation and how, like, either way, like, no one's making it out in the end. And it was pretty depressing, and it was something different, and I really did enjoy it. And while reading it, I posted it in the music channel, but Universe by Scars on Broadway popped in my head while reading it, and that also helped. And 10 out of 10 on this match. Good job, GVR.
Yeah. GVR, if you could write down like sort of like your history with this match while we continue on, do so. Like, what was the inspiration? Where did it come from? Was it just a KWC you wanted to write? Was it for something else? In the meantime, Nagoto, what do you think of 298?
Really fun. I like the world-ending aspect of it, and how Iris came back. Well, not really came back. It's just like a second Iris that was just tortured with all the information about the previous Iris and trying to find its way in the world. And as such, it just decided, well, might as well just go kill Gamera. The world's ending anyways. Might as well go finish off this other guy.
Well, guess I'll die.
Plus, I like how the match felt like it was on a timer because Gorath was about to crash into the planet.
Anything else, Nagoto? Or
I like that banner. It's simple, but just the what's it called? The broken moon, Gorath just right in the middle, coming towards the Earth. How everything has that reddish hue to it. Plus, monsters are facing each other.
Hooray.
That's always a plus.
Hooray! So I remember the banner for this one underwent a good number of revisions. It was like, touch that up, add the moon, touch it all up so that way it all seems sort of like within sort of like relative space. Because there were a lot of like really minor errors. I was like, no, touch that up, blah blah blah. And then at the last moment, Greyshot was like, make the monsters tinted red so they blend in better. I was like, all right. But yeah, that aside, it was just a lot of touching up to what we see here. So anyway, Birdman, what'd you think of 298?
It was a very interesting match. I had a better word to say, but I'm going to say interesting for now. The premise was certainly interesting, especially with the use of Gorath, which is something you definitely I'd expect to see that used. Some inspirations from a perhaps lesser known Toho film. I think there was an theme of this match with that purpose is certainly one that's definitely into think about. Like, what do you do? What do you do when the will is literally about to end? When you have put different perspective with camera, struggling to know what to do with his. Give me a minute to catch up. Very nice. Yeah, there's definitely. I think I would definitely parallels between Gamera and Iris's stories. Like, if Gamera, what do I do with the world ending? Same with Iris. They both have struggled what to do with purpose in this match and how they go about it, how they come to accept those terms. I feel quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Friggin', and it seems okay. Yeah, here we are. Here's what GVR also has to say, because he can't speak at the moment, so I am speaking on his behalf. So, firstly, this was an older match, written last year, but sent it this year because it got lost initially because TKPM's system is trash. Agreed. Secondly, I had wanted to write a final battle between arch rivals that at the end of the world for a while, and I was tired of fighting Hasty Godzilla and Space Godzilla, so I went with Gamera instead, and I think it's better for it. Agreed. I'm quite proud of this one for story and character aspects. Atmosphere I'm super happy with, but looking back at it now, I definitely see plenty of places where I could have improved it. Also, thank y'all for the kind words. For sure. Yeah, no problem, Matt. This one's still... Like, I understand going back, it's like, I could have done this, could have done that. I think it all works perfectly fine, but that could just be me, personally. I think a lot of this just is going to hold up really nicely. It is a very strong, really strong contender. Because, oh boy, a lot of these Gamera matches are actually going to be really strong contenders. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's going to be, oh boy. Yeah, no, it's hard to say, because it's like, no, this is a really good match, really interesting premise. I think this might be the first time we've had Gorath actively sort of like involved.
Yes.
Okay, no, that's awesome. It actually gets to do what it was intended to do, and that's destroy the world. So that is awesome. Yeah, no, and yeah. With that said, I think, is there anything, any additional bonuses any of you guys would like to make mention of, or do you think we could just go on to 299?
I think we can just move on.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, with that said, we will migrate on over to the next match in the lineup. Oh, wait. Oh, right, and GVR also says, shout out to Ditto for the banner. Yes, it is really good. So, but with that said, we will migrate over to match 299, the, I hope, long-awaited Godzilla vs. Gamera Round 2. This one written by Harley Jameson, and the banner by one Christian Gonzalez. If that name does not immediately ring a bell, you can, if you know of C-Guns Lives on DeviantArt, or any other sort of social media with C-Guns or C-Guns Lives, that this is the guy. To explain real quick, we usually have a certain parameter with what artists we hire for drawn banners, and the basic criteria we look for is involved with kaiju project, like published kaiju like kaiju comics or whatever, something established that has been published. And Seaguns here has been an assistant he's been an ink assistant for the Redman comics from Night Shining. So in a sense, he has a professional credential involved with sort of like the greater kaiju, kind of the broad spectrum of the kaiju ega. So, in that sense, we have a wonderful, the second first-person match in the KWC history, right behind Gamera versus Kiryu. And I think what we have here is this one has a really, really interesting sort of setup. With, it's like, Dr. Yamane recalling these terrifying events of the past. And it's like, two forces of nature that clash. It sounds super simple, but the way it's conveyed has a lot of there's a lot of weight to it. There is a lot of sort of like an impending doom weight to it that makes it very interesting. I think it utilizes the idea really well and sells really strongly on Serizawa's sells really strongly on the emotional aspect of it, or just the fear of what's to come if these two ever decide to rise again. It is really, really interesting. Sucker for first person matches, especially just the way it's done here, I think is excellent. Yeah, no, fantastic stuff, Harley. You knocked it out of the park. Kaiju X makes up half of Seaguns' salary. Anyway, with that said, GVR, do type out your comments as we go through everyone else. Bacon, what did you think of 299?
Very, very kino. Harley did a magnificent job of this, and the banner, my god, it's beautiful. It's fantastic looking. And I love how it was Dr. Yamane that was the protagonist, and it was through his eyes, and in the journal it works with the first person's perspective. It's just a very good match overall. And every single I want to add that every single one of these matches from the Gamera month have been very, very good. And this one is a strong contender for number one. It's a very good match. Harley knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. GVR says in his comment, match 299 is excellent in every way. The action is very tense and brutal. The characterization is on point, and the banner is, the finger thing. Friggin', the kino. I'll substitute that with kino.
Chef kiss material.
Yes. Nagoto, what'd you think of 299?
It's a lot of fun. I like once again, we finally have another first-person match. That's always something to be excited about since we never have those. We finally do. People have things to look to for examples. Plus, it's Godzilla vs. Gamera. Excited to see round 2 of that.
The question is, will there be a round 3? Maybe.
The question is, will there be a round 10?
Yeah, right. The fingers.
Or will it go back to round 1 with a different Godzilla?
Hey! Anyway. I mean, it would be a different guy. It would have to be Heisei and Gamera continuous if it were to be rounds. If it were like Gamera versus Shin Godzilla, it'd be different.
So when are we gonna get round 0?
How would that work?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
It's a prequel.
It's not how that works, son. Anyway.
Shut up.
But yeah, no. Yeah, do continue to go to like any additional thoughts or what have you.
Really like that artwork. Also, how this entire thing was told through a diary, like a journal entry, depicting this entire thing that was what's it called, covered up to hide the fact that there is 2 more giant monsters out in the world, another being a second Godzilla.
Yeah, and then GVR also points out Godzilla vs. Gamera round 2 is better than round 1 by 15 miles. And yeah. Oh boy, that's yeah, no, that's like round 1 is what it is, for better or worse. But yeah, round 2 is definitely just a far better told story by a long shot. Worse for worse. Fair. Oh lordy. But yeah, no. Birdman, what'd you think of Godzilla vs. Gamera round 2?
I think this one was an excellent story as well as a match, and probably the best out of Gamera Month as a whole. I think the perspective, the character of using Yamane and telling the story through his perspective, I think it raises the match from what could be a simple premise into something greater. It's definitely, I agree with you, Kaiju. It's definitely improved over round 1. It's similar, and there is bits that feel similar to round 1, but it's how it's done and how it's written it. It flows more cohesively and less edgy, I'll say.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I hope to see if the Harleys plan to continue on from this one.
That'd be fun, like a sequel match to this one. I don't know what you would do with that, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah. Before we move on, I will quickly say this, and I will tie into the match following.
All right.
I think this one should have been the finale to Gamera Month. Just my opinion.
Oh, that this one should have been the finale?
Yeah, I'll leave my
this
reasons
is probably
why
the
for
best
next,
one out of the.
but yeah, that's my thoughts.
This is probably one of the best ones out of the entire month. Or what's it called? Technically, we didn't even do a month. We went over the month.
Right, yeah, it's Gamera. It's just the Gamera month. So, like, yeah, no, it's literally just Gamera month. That's literally what it is. Yeah, no, any additional thoughts before we move on, or?
The next one is worse than you think it is.
Oh boy, it's yeah. Anyway, nevertheless, I think we'll be migrating over from 299 up into match 300. Gamera versus everyone, written by Nagoda, Kaiju X, and
I'd like to say again, 2016 me is a horrible writer.
Oh boy, yeah, there's a bit to talk about with this one. Ooh, lordy. So, and I don't have Greyshot's, Greyshot's currently not here right now, but he did give sort of his own general opinion on, he did give his own sort of general opinion on, a little bit with 300, so that way, even if we don't have him here, we do have just a little bit of what he thought about it. Nevertheless, so I'm just going to have to try and carry the load on this one. This one, we wanted, like, when Tyler came to me and said, hey, let's do a thing for match 3, or, you know, for Gamma Month, it was like, oh, yeah, no. I mapped out, like, you know, where that would be. It's like, let's have Gamma Month in June. And I figured that it was, like, the... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I think, Alright, gotcha. So, yeah, GVR is not going to be here for long, but, you know, he sent me his comments, so I'm going to read them aloud, you know, just, correspondingly. So, anyway, yeah, no, okay, nevertheless, let me get back to what I was saying. Yeah, we were definitely looking for something with a big scale for 300, because it had been a bit since we had anything, whether it be just a really long match, even if it was like 2 monsters, or another match with the whole cluster of monsters or whatever. And we figured we were doing this Gamma thing, why not have it be Gamma versus Everyone, which was a match submitted by Nagoda a long time ago. Then we started to... I started on the editing process, more or less, while Greyshot had to attend to business stuff and, you know, regulating the KWC up to that point, getting everything scheduled and whatnot. So it's like, yeah, we had to get everything sort of organized and situated. For the match, it's, rather unfortunately, though, about, I don't know, 2 months before it was supposed to go live, I sort of hit a writer's block. And it wasn't until I did the Yamato Takeru bios for the TK overhaul that I found just enough of my writing strength to get it all back in order. And so I was able to pretty much haul arcs. I took a week off from work because I knew that if because I knew like it had to be after July 4th, but that wasn't much of an issue for me. But yeah, I took like a 9-day vacation off from work just to work on this. Ooh boy! And then and then there was managing other responsibilities that came down at around the same time too. So I was like, oh boy. So that was somehow my vacation turned into an even more busy time for me. Nevertheless, I was able to pretty much hammer down on 300. Edit the crap out of it, because there was a lot of revisions that had to be done, whether it be to spice up the descriptions or, you know, just giving it a much stronger focus on Gamma, because surprisingly that latter half didn't focus much on Gamma at all. It felt like it wanted to be an everyone match rather than a Gamma versus everyone match, which is probably one of my bigger criticisms with the original version of this match.
Yeah, I may have based most of that latter half off of Fallout, so...
Right, or something like that, where it's
like the first half of Fallout, so...
right, where it's like everyone's going...
And everyone versus everyone, since those were the only everyone matches at the time, so...
Right. Yeah, and this was, 2016, so I don't think we would have had, like, your 185s or whatever, you know? Maybe, I don't know, but figured, oh boy, so yeah, the editing front, I went to Kingdom Come with this, expanding on parts I felt like expanding on, or getting rid of parts that are like, I don't see this being too beneficial, or it's more detrimental, get rid of it. I tried to make sure, to the best of my ability, that all the monsters that were in the match stood in the match, and not to add any new monsters in the wake of this. I definitely made sure that the roster, like, aside from any sort of revisions Nagoda himself made, pretty much everything, at the very least, everything you see here was from the draft I had. So these were all the monsters that were originally present. That said, there was a tiny bit where Zilla was accidentally left in there as one of the carcasses that the cows eat.
Oh, did I leave that?
Yeah, you left that in there. Good.
I thought I got rid of all of the Zilla references.
Nope. I caught it, so I was like, alright. But no, I definitely restructured, like a lot of it was making it prettier, or phrasing it better, or making the monsters do a thing or two that they, you know, had at their disposal. It wasn't until I got to the Gyaos act of the story where it was like, I was not a huge fan of how it was paced. I felt like some of the monsters that were in there overstayed their welcome. So I ultimately, pretty much, aside from a few select portions of Nagoda's original version, I had to completely scrap and rewrite that whole Gauss Act up until the very end. Which even then, you know, there had to be some interjected context and whatnot. And there was a point, like the night before, either the night before or the day before that, where I just ran out of steam, and Greyshot pretty much had to like pick up the rest. Already. Among all the...
I mean, if you guys needed me to help out, I could have just jumped in.
Yeah, I know, but figured we didn't want to have too many crazy... Well, I guess we could have had...
Too many people.
Oh, right. So, because if there was anything I wish we could have added, and this adds on to criticism on my own part, I wish that there was more definition for the Gargantuas in their resolution with Gamera, because their story just kind of... They live, but their story just kind of ends. And I was like, dang it. I knew I was forgetting something, but by the time I had realized that, it was just literally hours from release. You know, it was just, there was not much I could really do without, like, you know, special editioning it. But, oh man, this was a lot of, like, really heavy editing.
This was a mess.
It was a bit of a mess, I'll admit, but at the same time, I did see... I hope we bumped it up enough to where it could still be a standout entry compared to the others. Because that was my other concern with 300, was how, aside from the giant roster, what could it do differently that the others haven't? So that way, even if it turns out less than perfect compared to the others, hey, we at least have this standout feature within this match that makes it unique to it. And in a sense, that's where we kind of got the idea for Trauma Gamera, actually. That's where that inclusion came from, because I had looked at the Trauma Gamera character, sort of like looking at it from different angles, and was like, wait, sure, the character only appeared in Ayana's nightmares, but Gamera can evolve and adapt because he could change his chromosomes. It's how he changes appearances across the movies. So
that's how he and Gauss both changed their appearances.
Exactly. And so I was like, yeah, hold on a second. It was like, I have something here. And it was like remodifying the match to where he turned into Trauma Gamera to exaggerate his characterization as changing character. So it made a very... So I hope you guys like that, because that was definitely an inclusion on my part that I think helps make this match stand out a little more. Gives it more going on than just a bunch of monsters fighting each other. Oh boy. Like, as much as I adore the premise of Rogue Guardian Gamera, it was still like... I don't know, there was just something about the original version that seemed a little too much on the edgy side. That was like, oh yeah, Gamera relishes in taking down humans or something. I was like, I changed up the wording a bit here and there. Something that...
I was in my edgy high school phase during that, so...
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, it makes sense. I wasn't opposed to that characterization per se. It would have made him different compared to the other ones. But it's still, like, it's a very imperfect match with a really, okay. You too, huh?
Go on. What?
Alright. Anyway. Oh, Lord.
Alex!
Hooray, Alex.
You're alive!
Yeah, he's here.
Bacon, please read my current username.
Yes, Yoda's cock and ball torture.
Take blasted.
Mine was funny.
And he is joined as by a Orochi severed cock.
Oh lordy.
We should all just change our names to stupid shit.
Anyway. Oh Lord. Anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, we're going over how big of a mess 300 was to work on.
Alright, and just all the editing and then some of the stuff that was accidentally sort of should have been included but wasn't. Unfortunately, just because we were just trying to make sure we kept it at a regular schedule without being like a 1 month delay or anything. So I was like, alright. And plus with everything else that we have, we basically have the rest of this year scheduled. Like, we have on the behind the scenes front, we do have an idea of what matches are going to be coming up. So if you have like a request in mind, there's less than likely of a chance that you're gonna. More than likely it's going to be rejected, because we have literally everything planned out for the rest of the year. So.
That's just Kaiju X kindly saying "fuck off."
Yeah, no. I think on the whole, yeah, it starts off interesting enough, and it goes. Yeah, I like the idea
it goes and it goes.
Right. It goes and it goes. I think the first two acts with King Caesar, Super Mech Godzilla, and the Gargantua's first battle with the Gargantuas could have been tightened up a little, and maybe I should have done so when I was initially editing this. But nevertheless, I think it really picks up with the Space Godzilla stuff. Like when Space Godzilla comes along, when we get the. Like, in terms of the action, definitely.
I mean, we probably could have just taken out the Okinawa part.
Probably in hindsight.
I think I just, from what I remember when I originally wrote this, I think I just wrote that just because I wanted to fit in. I just wanted to kill off Super Mechagodzilla.
Right. I don't think it's like. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the Frankenstein dealio could have established that too. But I think I didn't mind it too much with King Caesar and Super Mechagodzilla because it establishes that Gamera not only as a threat to be reckoned with, but who he's willing to fight against in this crusade. So it's like, yeah, no, I am totally fine with it. That part never bothered me. It was just the whole Lake Akeda subplot that lasted for a little bit. Even though it still has its good parts, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I like the giant cavernous Lake Akeda. My gosh, that lake is huge. But nevertheless, it was like, no, I really like that action sequence because that was a really interesting idea. That it's like, the top's been frozen over by Jet Jaguar's utilized, semi-utilized liquid nitrogen thing. Okay, cool. Then Gamera's just like wrecks house with Gyra and Bemular, and then digs under, even though he probably just could have dug through the ice, but whatever.
I mean, I did have an excuse why there was just a giant cavern under the lake.
Right, with the whatchamacallit.
Mothra reference.
Yeah, for sure. Keeping a giant monster there is not easy, anyway. But yeah, no, I think this... Yeah, there's a lot that goes on. I think one of my other big criticisms actually comes with the Exilium part, and I'll be quoting from Greyshot's comment concerning 300. This is what he has to say. Now, 300 has a great premise and a solid start. Its detail and descriptions are spectacular, but I think it needed Gamera to be more OP. In the original draft, he was firing fireballs with minimal effect, kind of rendering the act pointless. If your attack basically does nothing, why include it? So, especially in the sections I worked on, I tried making every fireball matter, and its effects basically KO to keep up the pace. But with more monsters, the plot buried because of it, it kind of loses me at the halfway point until the end, like 100 or 56. Which is rather unfortunate when you have these massive versus everyone matches, because there is just that inevitable point where it just becomes a giant cluster of giant monsters fighting without like too much focus. I think had it been more Gamera rampage, like, you know, after killing Space Godzilla, which I think he was fine. His implementation, his death is fine because it was certainly memorable. You don't get a upper torso Space Godzilla dying to Gamera.
Was that you or Greyshot that did that?
There was a combination of me and Greyshot. Like, Greyshot brought in...
that was a good change right there.
Right. Yeah, Greyshot brought in the upper torso Space Godzilla, and I kind of finished off the scene. So,
Release the Nagoda cut.
It's on DeviantArt. It's horrible.
No, I don't want to go on DeviantArt.
You're gonna have to go on DeviantArt. You're gonna have to live with it.
We'll do a 6-part miniseries like HBO is doing with that other movie.
Oh no.
Anyway, and yeah, no, I think 300. Like, I enjoyed working on the editing front for 300 because it was still somewhat of a pain to get through. But I also wanted to bring out the best version of the story I could within the parameter I were given. So it's like, oh lordy. And you better thank Yamato Takeru, because literally if it had been for that, I'm not sure what would have happened. Because there was no... I do not think there would have been a backup plan. It had to be this or nothing. So it was like, yeah, no, it was... It's nice to give, like, Nagoto sort of like the limelight to shine, even if Greyshot and I prettied it up to Kingdom Come. But yeah, nevertheless, I still like this one, even for its imperfections. It is sort of the black sheep of the Gamera month matches. But I still do like this one. I like its ambition, even if it's imperfect. So, I think I've gone on long enough. Bacon, what'd you think?
No, you only gone on for 4 hours.
Yeah, right.
By the way, is Greyshot busy or something?
He's always busy.
I don't know.
He doesn't care about the KWC.
Kaiju,
Why do you
let's take over.
Why do you think he never likes socializing with us, joins us for the podcast, the
I mean,
reads,
we
the
do
morning
start
reads,
early
and
now.
the interrupt the movie?
He doesn't care about any of us anyway. But anyway.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now, whose turn is it?
Alright, Bacon.
What are your fucking thoughts on it?
Speak of the fucking devil.
Hey, man.
Apologies,
Oh.
I forgot
Oh, good. He's here.
Standard Time and Centrals, but I am here regardless.
Oh,
He's here. We're
We're
both
just
just
going over
here.
it.
There's cock and ball torture.
Kaiser just finished going over how horrible the editing process was for 300.
and how much I enjoyed it. So yeah, we'll go over your opinions on the other matches of 298 and 299 a bit. But yeah, first, I'll let Bacon go first. Bacon, what'd you think of 300?
I thought that it was cool, but there was spots that could have been taken out completely. Like, I felt that the aliens were kind of, like, unneeded, I guess. For a story of Gamera going rogue, you don't need an alien invasion to happen at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the Zillions to show up. You don't need, like, Space Godzilla and all that. You mainly just need the Earth monsters to be like, oh shit, one of our greatest guardians has turned upon the Earth, upon humanity, and essentially us. We kind of got to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that the action was really pretty solid for the most part. I think, despite me being a little bothered by the alien part, I think one of my favorite sections actually is the lake battle near the beginning with Gyra and Bemulor. Because I don't really know that many water fights that we have. We have the Dagara match underwater, but not many others. And yeah, overall it's a decent match. There are some spots that could have been changed, but for the most part, it's pretty solid.
All right. Yeah. No. And yeah, Greyshot, now that you're here, what did you think of match 300? What are your thoughts? What are your sort of perspective and experiences working on 300 with me?
And how
Okay,
bad was
so-
the editing process?
The editing process was, I guess I'll say my notes about the match. It was good. I like the concept. Gamera turning against the Earth very much is hinted in Gamera 2. Very cool concept, and it worked out. I think this was a match done like, I'd say 70% well. My biggest problem, I guess, if we're gonna go with that, was not how Gamera was portrayed character-wise, but how he was portrayed power-wise. Because the early tendency I noticed, or early on for this match was Gamma would fire fireballs at every living thing. Like 3 fireballs here, 3 fireballs there. I think he hits Gyra with like in regards Gyra with like I don't know 7 to 10 in regards to the fighting sequence, which I had to which I removed. Like for instance, when Gamma like retracts his arm and fires his thrusters to blast Gyra away. Maybe it was Gyra. Maybe it was Frankenstein. Regardless,
I think it was Frankenstein.
Yeah, that was a situation where like, okay, we need to stop doing this because it kind of you lose the power of the technique. It's kind of like why in my matches, if you ever notice, I really only use maybe the monster's ability once, maybe twice if something changes, because I think it adds to the uniqueness when it doesn't happen so often, and it keeps the match from feeling stale. So early on, especially editing, I tried making every battle unique. I think the biggest influence I had at this point was Space Godzilla, because Space Godzilla was another instance where he was just getting hammered, but nothing was happening to him. I'm like, well, you gotta there was a moment where the Gotengo hit him with the Absolute Zero, and he was regenerating it, and I was just like, no, we're not playing that. At that point I drew the line. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna actually make him break, but you're gonna see a different side of Space Godzilla, which is why he loses his bottom half and he fights as like a floating torso, almost like via XCOM, like the floating guys basically chucking rocks and stuff. Because again, you just break it up and make it different. So back to Gamera. I went back and I really tried to make sure every fireball was like insane, because at this point, if Gamera is going all out, he's not going to hold back. And I view Gamera as one of the most powerful monsters in the KWC. One fireball should easily be able to put down most monsters, if not maybe like half the roster. I'd say with like a direct plasma fireball would go down in a hit. Like I would say Frankenstein, if he got hit, 1 dead. Gyra dead. Baragon dead. Baran dead. Like you like Jet Jaguar dead. Like it should have been like he's going through these monsters. Instead, you had these slower drag out fights. I like the unique environments for them, but it just felt like the fights were taking too long, and that really becomes apparent towards the end when it was just kind of like, okay, we need to get to the finish at this point. So yeah, overall, if I were to say for 300, I think it's my least favorite versus everyone match. Not because of its final execution, because I think Kaiju X did a phenomenal job in regards to how he updated and editing and the characteristics. But for me, I think my favorite is still 183?
85.
185. Because that one is a clear-cut story that you can see from beginning to end with proper resolution. So, yeah, that's tendency for me. Again, I liked a lot of portions of this match. This isn't a bad KWC, especially after all the editing work. I just think it needed a more focused story, and I think this is evident for me why if I ever did it versus everyone match, you would see Godzilla, even Godzilla, like die in a few hits. Because to have the monster last any longer is just mind-numbing after a certain point.
Yeah, agreed. It's like you can't treat them all as the indestructible monsters that they are. Do proper. There has to be a point where you just have to start blazing through them. Exactly.
Like I love the initial the opening sequences of this match are still really good. When Gamera is going from place to place finding new monsters and taking them out. I thought he was done a little I thought they were long, but I'm like, oh, this is genius. Like going from place to place. And then it gets to Fukuoka and it stays in Fukuoka and it doesn't move. And I would have continued that throughout most of the match, continue the shifting and the changing of perspectives. The last criticism I'll make note of for 300 was the human characters, because the humans are kind of just thrown in. And I understand this is a KWC, and this one's like, there's no backstory or anything. But there are just some characters just come in and out and without any regard. There's no build-up. I would have done a little bit more build-up in that regard. Just so that way, and even if they die fast, you can understand who they are and where they're coming from, their perspective-wise. Yeah. Because maybe they have differing opinions on Gamera going rogue or something of that nature.
But my monster fights.
So yeah, general 3 out of 5 stars.
All right. Yeah, Gamera versus Everyone, I think, especially in its current iteration, undeniably has memorable moments. I think as a whole, it needed a much better structure.
Yeah.
It's saying something when I basically had to restructure the Gauss Act.
Oh yeah, again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Kaiju X deserves a mountain of praise.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
He took garbage and made art.
That's my ability.
Yeah, well, Kaiju X just really went all, because I was doing slow bits at a time because I could only go through so much, and then anytime I'd sit down, I would just start editing, and I think Space Godzilla was what really kind of broke me. Space Godzilla, because I was like, okay, I'm just having Space Godzilla die here, and then I was like, oh wait, he's in the rest of the match, and so I went back and I fixed it, but then I was just like, ugh. So it was very much, I think that was the part that finally did me in. But yeah, regardless, yeah, he deserves, for all how well written this match is, he deserves all that credit, 100%. I helped out a little bit, but I think my biggest input was pretty much before Space Godzilla, and then the ending. The ending I had the biggest hand in.
Right. And you did some really cool stuff with the ending, with what you did with Burning Godzilla and how Gamera took that power. That's really cool. I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, because I'm he's literally absorbing heat and power, and I'm at this point, Godzilla. Yeah, that was the other problem I had, which was you have Burning Godzilla fighting Iris, and at that point I'm just okay. Let's be quite frank now. Burning Godzilla would have evaporated Iris, but for the likelihood of the story, we're not gonna have it end like that. So it was a bit of a kill steal at that point.
Right. Which I think works out a lot better. I think it gives a lot more characters things I think it's the most unexpected thing. It's Rodan is absorbed by absorbed by Godzilla because he wanted to. Bringing it into Rodan's non-character arc. No, it's all right, cool. And then freaking it's you expect Burning to finish off, but no, Gamera just is kill steals and finishes off Iris. That's awesome. That was really good. That was really cool. So
again, there are still really good parts in this. And Nagoda, this was an awesome idea for you to set up. And this is something I'll say to everyone: if you have an awesome idea, in regards to this kind of setup, don't overdo it. Don't go out expecting to write this monster of a match. Write everything set everything up, set out what you want to do, and almost kind of write the match that you write it as you go with an idea in mind, because. For instance, 143. I did not intend for that to be the longest KWC. It just at the time, it just happened to progress that way.
You mean
in this match? I feel 143. No, 143.
Oh, sorry. I just want to check on her.
All right, gotcha.
You're fine. I'm watching TV in the other room.
Kaiju X, introduce us to your friend.
Don't worry. That's she's just staying around. She's just checking on a little poochie, so it's all right. But do go on.
But no, I wrote that one in regards to, I wrote that slowly over the course of a long period, and I knew parts that didn't. I removed, I think 4,000 to 5,000 words by the end of it, because I knew it was okay, we need to cut to this, we need to cut right to the action, we need to get rid of this, that, and that's what I kind of feel this needs is before you send in a KWC. Don't send in a KWC expecting it to be edited. Send in a KWC okay, what's the point of this story? What's the beginning, middle, and end? How is this getting? Did the characters get from A to B? I'd recommend plotting that stuff out and looking at the match and say, does this feel satisfactory in regards to the arc that I sent? What I wanted to build up, the action. Does it feel too long in sections? And if you ever feel yourself having issues, go after those parts, cut it out, or edit it.
Right. That's why we get deleted scenes in movies, because not every scene is vital, even if there are one or two that could have proved more beneficial than others. But it's still pacing matters. That is a very important lesson to take away from this. Pacing matters. And it also makes it a lot easier for us if you do your writing job really well. It's more than likely to get processed faster than, others that aren't so great. So.
No.
Yeah, it's long, convoluted, and some stuff I've been meaning to say for a while. But regardless, yeah, Nagoda, still awesome concept, awesome. It's still your match at the end of the day. We appreciate what you brought to the table, because there were some really good parts in there. We're just happy that we were able to flush it out and bring some honor to the match.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Let me comment what GVR had to say. Unless you had Greyshot, did you have anything else to add? Maybe like banner?
Oh yeah, major shout out to EJ Stu for the banner on this one, because I know Nagoda made the original version, the secondary version, but EJ Stu created the fantastic artwork, which KWCS then edited to make it illuminate and then transfer over to the dark Gamera. And the Nightmare Gamera and all the action going on. I wanted to do something special for the banner because, again, this was a special match, and yeah, I think that especially the banner, probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, for sure. The GIF editing for this one, I was like, the moment you shared that with me, I was like, I know exactly what to do. It's like I had seen it in my head immediately, and I was like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. That was really fun to make. I loved making the banner for this one. Anyway, Nagoda, before we get into Nagoda, I wanted to say GVR's comments before I forget. What he said, is like, bear in mind my review that Kaiju X is going to read will be a very abridged version because holy fuck, there's so much to cover. So I just went through most of the general stuff for my comments. Match 300 felt like every cool idea Nagoda could come up with was just thrown in at the wall for both in good and bad by that means. And to elaborate more on that, for 300, he says, excellent work, rough start and rather unfocused in the middle, but the middle is still pretty good and the third act is pure Kino. But yeah, too unfocused and awkward to properly join the ranks of the best, but it's close. That is what GVR had to say about match 300. Nagoda, could you, again, give us your comments about 300, or how you feel about it, or how you feel about the revisions we've made to 300?
I gotta say, I love all the changes you guys made. And for, I made this in, I think, sophomore year of high school? Sophomore, junior, somewhere around that time.
Jeez.
And it just killed my writing inspiration for a long time afterwards.
Oh, I can imagine. Ooh.
Yeah. Word to the wise, don't do a whole bunch of monsters if you aren't ready to write a whole bunch of monsters in a match.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Lord.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then when you sent this back to me for re-editing, another thing I learned, it is hard trying to change something you've already written down once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is very true. You definitely, when it comes to that kind of thing, you always need a second set of eyes, fresh perspective of, okay, what can we get rid of, what can we change? Because there's sort of a weird...
I probably would have been better off just rewriting the whole entire thing.
I mean, I can name something that's worse than rewriting, editing something you've written before. Rewriting something that you've written again using the same plot lines. That would have killed you. There's a certain match that I have written this. I'm coming up I haven't done it yet, but it will be my third or fourth time, because the first two times my USB drive broke with the finalized copies. So
oh, that is the worst.
Yeah.
I hate
so
when
it's
that
just
happens.
I guess we're gonna write the same thing for a third or fourth time. All right, let's do this.
All right.
That's why you just store it on a flash drive, put it on a Google Drive, put it on your desktop or laptop, print it out, engrave it on something, and then even then, you can't be too safe. So make sure you
Yeah.
find some other sources.
After the first couple times I lost things I've written down, I've ended up just making backups of backups.
It's not a bad strategy. That's what I do now. Every KWC that anyone has ever submitted is saved, and I have a backup. So, just in case, I don't know, someone hacks Toho Kingdom and deletes everything. I got your backs, everyone.
All right, cool.
Yeah, like going back to like when I first started writing this, I was in my kind of edgy high school phase, so, and I was also just starting to get into writing because, you know, just wanted to do something. And now, like looking back, my writing was horrible. Now I found that I'm a lot better at writing more story-oriented things than just, you know, just straight up, oh, like this guy's fighting this guy now just because they're there. Like what happened in here.
Right, you're giving your writing more of a story component, so that way everything connects a lot better than just punching a
Alright,
guy
I finally
in the face.
went up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now, like nowadays, I focus more on like story-oriented matches, like writing, like focusing more on the characters or like the monsters character. Back then, I just went straight up, oh, like just monsters. Let's make them fight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just kill this guy because I can. Like what happened with Super Mechagodzilla in this match. I just threw him in there because I just wanted to get rid of Super Mechagodzilla.
I mean, it's not a bad reasoning for all reasons.
Yeah, but when you go into it like that and your writing isn't really good, it just ends up really horrible.
Yeah. Friggin'. I know the reason why the as another note, like the reason why the Gargantuars were even, Cassandra died in the original, but Gyra and Frankenstein just
Yes,
sort
and it died in the original.
Yes, but Gyra and Frankenstein just kind of disappeared without them being explicitly killed off. So I was like, hey, why not bring them back into the role, and basically with Gyra and Frankenstein substituting for the Baragon part, because I had killed Baragon a lot sooner because I felt like he overstayed.
Baragon lived for too long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. Baragon sucks.
So,
He deserves to die.
So yeah, no, that's where that whole, like, even if it wasn't a long sequence, that's where that whole idea came from. And then them wearing the armor of Gigan was like, okay, you know what? I wanted to do like more varied monster armor, like a Sickle of Kamacuras or something, but I was like, let's just stick with, they just deassembled Gigan. And I wanted to imply with Gyra wearing Gigan's head, I very much wanted to imply that Frankenstein couldn't get any other part on him. Like he was having a hard time forcing Gyra to wear armor, so he's just like, just take the helmet.
Now that I think about it, you probably could have given the Monster X's like bone armor.
Yeah, I know. I was
had...
thinking about that, but I was like, Gigan's more mechanical. He's probably just easier to disassemble. Could have done something with Megaera too, but I was like, I just kept it simple to what I needed, not what I wanted. So,
dude, you could have had
Good strategy.
You could have had one of Mogira's arms be a lance.
oh yeah, that would have been good, like an explosive tipped lance. That would have been great.
Do you guys want to see a puppy photo?
Okay.
Give me a second.
Now I'm just depressed.
Hold on. I'll let's see if I can fix this with cuteness. Anything can be fixed with cute puppy photos. Off topic. Here we go. Bam! Look at the off topic.
Yay.
Aw.
I'm getting a puppy, so
Oh, that's cute.
I think my favorite is the second one with the little oomph. The current name is Mifa. I tried very hard for a variety of other names, and sadly, none of them were able to stick. So,
Why does that name sound familiar?
Have you played Legend of
Mifune?
Zelda: Breath of the Wild?
Ah, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Well, I tried coming up with something Godzilla related, but dang it, I couldn't think of anything. And
Dogzilla.
Well, I was trying to think of like a monster name maybe, or a name for like that's something cute, but
Toto.
None of them really. It's a girl, so none of them really worked. So we got we decided on Mifa from Legend of Zelda. She's from Breath of the Wild. She's the one in red.
The water person.
Yeah,
Like the fish
yeah.
person.
Yep. So that was the.
Could have called it Iris.
Oh, that was a joke. That actually was one of the options. No joke. That was she was because I had showed I showed my girlfriend and she was like, oh, what about Iris? And immediately I'm just thinking, wasn't maybe not, maybe that sounds like a cat name, or I think that'd work out then, but I don't want to call my dog Iris. Maybe ask, oh, why'd you name it? Well, there was a demon in a movie one time.
He's
just gonna wake up and he's gonna get absorbed by the dog.
It's just tentacles that shoot out of it, and I'm just like, oh god, what have I done?
Okay, that sounds more like a thing than Iris.
Oh, and Fat Bacon Unicorn, I have not seen your dogs, so.
You know, looking at 300 in my other match, I'm just realizing it's gonna be horrible when the rest of my old matches go up.
What? No, it's well.
Because they're all about the same quality. Because I kind of stopped riding for about a couple years because 300 killed my inspiration.
I don't know. Your Kamacuras versus Skullcrawler match was really good.
Yeah, see, the difference is that one actually had a story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if Birdman would hurry up and read it.
Oh, please.
Doesn't KWCC have it?
No, Birdman has it.
Oh, someone has it.
Yeah,
Wait,
Birdman has it.
When does Birdman ever work? Please, I mean,
He's been on the same 4 matches for years.
It's been a busy couple of months. I'm on it. Look, I literally almost finished, and I'm gonna be going back to work on this match and the one Harley sent me.
Oh no, dude, you're
Yeah,
fine.
this year has been just really shitty for everyone. So,
Dude, 2020 is gonna. 2020 is the new 2016 because everyone was like, when was the last time everyone hated a year? And it wasn't as bad, but 2016 was that year mainly because like every celebrity that people like David Bowie and David Bowie's the biggest one, but there were a ton of celebrities that just started killing over throughout the first half of that year, and then obviously like with the election and everything, going. I think Brexit happened that year as well. Or at least started that year.
Robin Williams also that year or something?
Robin Williams might have. Maybe that was earlier.
I thought Robin Williams was 2014.
Oh.
Oh, I think Bill Paxton was one.
No, you're right. Oh yeah, Bill Paxton. Oh my god, that was. I recently just rewatched some of his movies. Like he was in Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
I think that was the last big one he was in. Oh, he's so good in that.
All right, so yeah, just had to, yeah, no, the visitor that's staying over with us, she has a dog, but she's like really old, and they're probably gonna have to put her down. So,
how you doing? How you holding up?
I think I'm holding up all right. I just might break a couple times, but I'll hold out. So.
Okay. Well, we filled the off topic with puppy and dog photos.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, if you need to take a break or step away, we understand.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine. Oh.
No, also, if you need us to assume direct control.
Yes, Birdman. Yes, I did. Anyway, oh shoot. All right. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, where you guys are, where are we? Like, what were you guys talking about? Just to catch me up to speed.
Dogs.
Yes.
All right. So, unironically, dogs. Thank you, man. Thank you. But freaking. Let's see. 300. Who? Nagoda, did you say what you need about 300?
I think I got basically everything I needed to say about it.
All right.
Like old writing me didn't know how to write. Didn't know what kind of style they wanted to write with, so.
Oh yeah, no, and that kind of thing just requires.
I kind of figured out what I want to do with my writing now, so.
Yeah. No, and that thing just requires.
It takes a while to figure out, so yeah.
Yeah. That kind of thing just takes a lot of time and experience. Sometimes you fumble and not in all the perfect places, but you know.
Or you pull 164. You know, it happens to all of us.
And sometimes you just take too much at once and realize, what am I doing?
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. Even that, listen, I have not fully learned myself.
Still taking too much at once.
Yeah, I know. So am I. So am I.
Me here with about 10 different series being planned out at once.
Yeah. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. Birdman, what'd you think about 300? Sorry, it took a while to get to you, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of my thoughts have really been summed up by everyone else, but I'll try my best. I think out of Gamma match as a whole, out of Gamma month as a whole, and out of all the everyone matches you've had so far, I think this is a top contender for the probably weakest out of them. I think I have to go back and read the other, like the Dragon Trilogy and 185 to get a proper sense of it. But I think I have read the original Mats that Nagoza wrote, and I did skim through this one, and it was a bit of groupings, but it was still quite a weak Mats. It's not very focused. It seems to be going all over the place with so many things going on at once. There were so many characters and so many monsters, and so much. It's just so long for like no reason. Like you and Greyshot, like I said, their monsters will stick around for way too long when it should be there and gone. With since Gamma is meant to be going all out on them. Like I said, I think I'm going to stand by what I was saying earlier back at 299. I feel like this one, you said that you're having trouble like getting up to standards with the deadlines. I think if you sort of my thoughts is that when you come to realise that you won't be able to get this to the quantum link you wanted, is that you probably should have ended Gamma Month back at 299 and put something else in 300's place if you felt it wasn't going to be up to the standard you wanted.
Right. I mean, that's not wrong, but at the same time, it's like I was also somewhat. I could see that, like ending with 299 probably would have been the wiser choice, but at the same time, like I said, we only had 300 as our big 100 match. I don't think we would have had anything else that would have filled that quota. Like, at least 200...
Did we have anything else?
Like, 200 at the time it came out was the longest match. Until 275 came along. But I was like, I don't think Greyshot would have had anything on standby in case this match didn't turn out the way we had wanted it to. So it was kind of either this or nothing, or something very anticlimactic. So, like, with the most that would have been said, it was just like, oh, yeah, no, 300, the regular match. It was like, no, I refuse. That, and I got a little overconfident with how much I could change until I had lost my writing streak pretty much near the end. It was like, Greyshot, tag in!
You literally killed that man. You killed him!
Again, if you guys needed help, you guys could have just called me back in and just had me start working on it again.
It's just like, tag me in, boss.
Yeah, so, ooh, boy.
But yeah, like, it was, like I said, a good match, but probably not the greatest out of the month so far.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's...
I can agree with that.
I mean, to be fair, Nagoda has it's quite an older match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, compare, like, if you look at people, everyone here looks like most oldest work and looks to what the work is done now, there's obviously going to be a difference. It's just like, I think probably what Nagoda, if I'm just going to say out here, I think, you know, you said you started out 2016, and I think I started at the same time writing matches. I think the issue here is you probably might have gotten a bit overzealous with trying to write a versus everyone match, but you're literally just starting out. Like, if you probably had like Grim versus Gamma versus everyone at a later point, you probably might have been more focused and you probably had done much editing on it.
Yeah. Because I remember Nagoda was also trying to write the longest match, but that just... Ironically, it turned longer because of me, but... like, the longest match coming from a singular author. But sometimes you just don't do that. You just...
I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say out here for, like, everyone listening, for, like, everyone here and everyone who's listening to the podcast, don't get overzealous with your projects. Like, you need to learn your limits and then build from there. Like I really want to do it for everyone match at some point, or like something similar to like Greyshot series. But I know at my current level, I'm not ready for that kind of thing on my own. But I'm getting there. Every match right, and my skill improves. So it's not like you don't. If you want to do something, don't rush into it. If you don't feel ready, just give yourself time and keep going until you feel you're ready. Like there's no rush. Like you can't.
Exactly.
You can't rush
KWC
off.
does not support kending seppuku over a KWC match, you know?
Yeah, my recommendation is don't take on an everyone match unless you know you're ready to do an everyone match. Because that thing is just, like, writing one is just really, it just drains everything out of you.
Mm-hmm. In addition, little fun factoid, this match, originally the whole plan, when we had announced King Heisei Ghidorah's retirement, we had asked Nagoda, hey, could you edit out, that Ghidorah, so that way you could just replace it with another one that gets filled a role. But once we had gotten our schedule mapped out, it was like, wait, we could keep King Ghidorah! Which, unfortunately, I don't think Nagoda had gotten to that point in his, like, brief rewrites.
Yeah.
Of
I hadn't gotten to that. I was gonna switch him with Grand King Ghidorah, I think.
Right. But I was like, wait, we could keep Heisei, because I am a sucker for having as many Heisei Ghidorah matches as we can before he goes.
Ew.
You're gonna love it, Alex.
I don't want to see Heisei Ghidorah.
Don't worry, it'll all end soon.
He's the white man's Ghidorah, literally.
I actually have been getting a bit of more appreciation for that Ghidorah, I will say, but I do agree that it's time for Old Yeller to go out one last time.
For the second time.
Yeah, Greyshot, you could always show your appreciation for Heisei Ghidorah. Do that for Interrupt the Movie.
Anyway. But yeah, no. And then I think, yeah, with that said, Alex, aside from releasing the Nagoda cut, what'd you think of 300?
Well, I thought it was really good. And yeah, this is coming from someone who actually read both drafts, like the draft Nagoda sent me all those years ago, and the version we have now. Yeah, I think you and Greyshot did some pretty good edits to him. I will say my biggest problem, I know I mentioned this before, I don't mind the Frankenstein trio getting the win. It's just they were just kind of left there by the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, agree. That was something I had forgotten to mention to Greyshot among the other things. I was like, hey man, take this over, this part. I had forgotten to make mention of a more definitive like resolution with the Gargantuous and Gamera. So,
but yeah, I really still do love the water fight, the lake fight with Gyra and Bemular. I thought it was really done. I think this match works best when you read individual parts. And yeah, I do think it feels a little cramped at times with the amount of characters involved, but I still think it does a pretty solid job.
Yeah.
I will say, since Nagoda wrote it, it's my favorite of Gamera month. You'll ask me which is better, the Mona Lisa or macaroni art Nagoda made in first grade. I'm gonna say the macaroni art.
Because he's your son.
Yep. But no, Gamera month was awesome. Yeah. All 5 matches were excellent.
Right. Each have their own unique quality. So it's like I don't think there's anyone in the wrong to say that it's like 3. What the heck?
Yeah.
No.
Birdman, shut the hell up. People are talking.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, great. People are talking all over the place. Anyway, Yeah, no, GVR said in the comments, Gamma Month was beautiful. And
But I
oh, go ahead.
will say my personal favorite is 299 because of how innovative it was and how Harley crafted a beautiful story with it.
Right. Like, I mean, 296 brought in the first person. Well, it's the first one to get to the punch with first person, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, no, Harley just told a really beautiful story with that one. Ooh.
Well, when did Tom start writing that? Because I know Harley wrote.
Harley wrote that in like 2016, I think. Somewhere back, like it's technically
everything's happening in 2016.
I could have sworn she wrote that more recently because she was inquiring if it was okay to do that type of.
Yeah, it was recently. Yeah, it was recently. I'm.
Maybe she had the idea, but I know for a fact she was like, "Is it okay if we do this?" Like recently, because she was asking about that in the KWC Discord, which you guys should check out. Hashtag ad link, whatever.
Because I remember she showed me it. I think it was late last year. So my question is, I'm just trying to figure out who actually thought of the idea first.
I think it was Tom because he had proposed the idea of like the KWC animated prose hybrid because that Gamma versus Kira was meant to be an animated match, and then there would have been the prose that would have accompanied it that gave more context to what was going on. And I think he had pitched that like 2016. So the idea had been going on for at least that long. Now, when he actually wrote the match is kind of another story, but I do think that just the concept of the match existed as far back as 2016.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about for like Tom in regards to his.
Yeah, 296.
Yeah. Tom had discussed this one for a while. But otherwise, I guess what matches did you guys discuss prior?
298, 299, 298 and 299. Those were the ones we had discussed prior to you getting here.
Okay.
So, if you could give your thoughts on 298 and 299, since you were a little late to the party.
Oh, yeah. For 298, which was Iris versus Gamera, I thought it was really, really good. I have not really any issues with the match. Like it was, the setup was good. Like it's a really solid match. I don't think it's one of my favorites, but it's like really solid. Especially how it ending with Iris taking the victory, but it's kind of like at a what cost kind of ending. Yeah, just like a little bit darker, a little bit more depressing, but yeah, still a nice, awesome KWC in itself. And then for round 2 with Harley's match, very well done with the setup. I loved the differencing opinions, how it all takes place from Yamani's perspective. Really, really enjoyed that match. Next to I think Tom, I enjoyed his a little better, but still, it's a fantastic match. Probably one of the best in the KWC, probably in the top 15, I'd say, for me. 15 or 10. But yeah, no, Harley did a wonderful job, and the banner done by Christian Gonzalez, which was Kaiju X's a contact through Kaiju X. Absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. In regards to the action and whatnot it sets up, I would say it's better than 300 because ES2 did a good job, but I think the action portrayed in 299 is better. But they were requested for 2 different things, so it's like apples and oranges.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, otherwise Harley, I think Harley's match is probably my second favorite, with Iris being my third favorite of the month.
Okay. No, that's fair. I mean, that's kind of the, this was, this was definitely a trip. I remember, I had mentioned this earlier, that, there were 2 other matches we had, but we rearranged them in favor of those ones. We had 2 very different matches in tow. The only, one of them was because they weren't quite up to standard. The other one was just to avoid repetitive author, because it was, another one from Michael Allen. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we definitely wanted to get Armor Titan out sooner than later because it was hey, we could use this opportunity to make... I think freaking KWC month-wise, I don't feel like we're going to get anything quite like this again. This Gamera month has been a fantastic... What a fantastic month to celebrate Gamera with the coming...
It's the best monster month we've had so far.
I think that is going to be universal.
Yeah, by a mile, I'd say. Yeah, I'd completely agree with that.
So I feel a little scared for the other monster months we have planned for the future, but even then, it's about enjoying what the monsters we have and what they can do. But I do think, yeah, Gamera really kind of unironically got the ball rolling, like, just in terms of, like, sheer quality. Even if they're, like, you know, even with 300 being a little bit of a black sheep among them, it's still, like, it was remolded into something a lot better than its original counterpart. So it's like, yeah, friggin' shoot. Yeah, no, this was fun. I don't know, actually, you know what? I've never asked you this before, Greyshot. What prompted you for Gamera Month specifically? Because I know you were the one that made the call on that. What prompted you to say, hey, let's do Gamera Month?
I knew we had a whole bunch of Gamera matches in the catalog. So again, the KWC is really, from now on, trying to focus on creating matches that we have already in our catalog, because we have a lot of matches kind of saved up. And we just kind of wanted to go through them and try to get through them before, like, creating new matches. So that was, like, 1. 2 was the realization that this year was Gamera's 55th anniversary. I think mainly in part to Matt Frank. I think his association with that Gamera Complete collection kind of brought it to my attention. I was like, oh, it's Gamera's 55th. Right, I forgot about that. We should do something. How many Gamera matches do we have? Oh, a whole bunch. Let's see about getting those up. And then, again, with 300 being Nagota's Gamera vs. Everyone, and I knew Tom had a Gamera match, I was like, we can easily get the 3 best KWC, or like some of the best we have in our storage of KWC matches, dust them off a little bit, and post them for this fantastic celebration.
All right.
And yeah, that was kind of the beginning and end. And we had one match that was kind of shifted, which involved Mechagodzilla Showa, that we moved mainly because we had 2 matches. We realized specifically that we were giving a writer 2 matches in a row, so we decided to change that. So yeah, that was like one cause. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, we thought these matches were really good and they deserved to be on the up for the month for the Gamera Month.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm glad things turned out the way they did, because it was like, even if you didn't like 300, guess what? You have 4 other matches that are like of fantastic quality. So it's like, yeah, no, it was totally awesome. So at the very least, 300 accomplishes the giant scale quota. And to believe Obsidious hadn't been in a match for 100 matches anyway.
There's a few kit monsters that have. I think that's specifically why we had did some monsters the way we did.
Yeah.
In fact, 300 really got the ball rolling with a whole bunch of monsters that haven't seen the limelight
in a while,
long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, and
you can even see that with like how we're doing that now with like 301 with the Attack Titan getting a debut match, since he hadn't had a match in 300 or 205.
205, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
And, debuting a new writer.
Yeah.
Well, for his first solo outing.
Yes, correct. Did we... I guess before we potentially... Because, Alex, I think you said what you wanted to say with 300, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any additional opinions on 300 before we migrate over to the most recent KWC as of this recording?
No.
Alright, but yeah, anyway. Nevertheless, yeah, and with that said, we will now migrate over to the most recent KWC. We may do the KWCE if you guys want to, but the important part is the KWC front.
Yeah, but I didn't read it, though.
Oh.
Well, we'll save it for next time, then.
Oh, yeah, no. KWCE we'll save for next time. Yeah, yeah, you know what? We'll save that for next time. Next time is KWCE. In the meantime, because I had posted it today because of inopportune timing and just trying to get things straight and whatnot. So I was like, yeah, no. Yeah, no. Okay. Well, we'll migrate over to the last KWC of the general discussion and of the podcast. Match 301, Attack Titan and Ultraman versus Mecha King Ghidorah. Written by Vincent Roger and banner from Nagoda. So with that said, ooh boy. Ooh boy. Alright. Actually, you know what? Before I get into my opinion, I'll read what Bacon has to say since he can't speak right now. Yeah. So, here are his thoughts for 301. He says, my writing from last year is different from my writing from this year, but I am still a bit proud of this one. Not only is this my first proper match, but this is my first match that I wrote that was semi-passable. It wasn't terrible, and I was genuinely surprised it was accepted. And as a side note, this was originally going to be a one-shot match. I had no plans for a sequel or series, but now it is the beginning of a series of over 30 planned matches. Holy shit. Hell, even the plan for the series changed because I had no general direction until the beginning of this year, and I made an actual story instead of pure cringe. Feels. I would also want to personally thank those that edited the match, because this is the superior cut. Hashtag don't release the bacon cut. If you want to read it,
I mean, I could.
right, just go to my DeviantArt, he says. All I want to say is, like I said when we did the Christmas special, it's both strange and awesome that my work is among everyone else's. I have been reading KWC for a lot of my life. I feel honored that my work is among all of yours, and thanks to Nagoda for the banner, it looks epic.
Here are my thoughts.
Okay, pure silence, gotcha. Oh, right.
No,
right. The extra thing he said, here are my thoughts, even though he basically said that up front. Here are my thoughts. Anyway. But yeah, no. And with my personal opinion, I really like the story to this one. It's on more like the basic side, but it's sort of that, like, after what 300 is in terms of just that sheer spectacle side of things, it was nice to go back to something that was a lot more simple. I do think, like, I know there were some elements that had to be edited in post, like Ultraman's electricity immunity. I remember that one.
Surprise.
But no, I think this one is a very simple and fun match that I'm curious to see where it goes or how it expands from here. I am very curious to see what sort of direction this takes. And this brings in a good, it's obviously simple enough to function as a KWC where you get, this oddball team up fighting against Mecha King Ghidorah. But what I also like about it is sort of the ambiguity to the Attack Titan. Like, sure, we may not get a lot of Eren here aside from being referenced by name. I don't recall him having any dialogue in this one. But I do like the fact that it's like, okay, Attack Titan is here, and he's apparently not supposed to exist yet. And it's like, oh. So I think in a sense, whether it was meant to be a standalone or not, it is sort of set itself up for precedence for a series. And I do hope we get more of how, the Attack Titan sort of matches, like, how he came to the world, how he operates in the world, and all that fun stuff. So I am really... And you know what? I'm just happy all around for another Attack Titan match. It's been far too long, and you know what? I hope for more, because I think there will be more to come. The Attack on Titan Titans are like the weird... They're like weird inclusions that it's like, if you're just a fan of the show, it's like, why are they doing here? But friggin', it's like, I don't know, it's a welcome addition for me. It is a very welcome addition.
Seconding that, I can definitely, I can follow that up. Again, this one was a fun addition. I even had some questions like, oh yeah, how did the Attack Titan, show up? And while it was never fully alluded to, it does open some questions, which if this is continued, would be interesting. Yeah, would be interesting to get answered.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of that, though, yeah, it's still a. I enjoyed the match. I am excited. I'm sad that Ultraman did die, but I am interested to see what happens in the future.
Good.
Yeah, totally. Also, according to the comments section on the match, Ultraman looks like Long Cat.
He really does look like a cat, like that's jumping up into the air and like landing.
And then there goes Kidora blasting guys in the groin again. He just cannot get enough of that.
I forgot when exactly I made this banner.
Oh gosh, it's been a while. Yeah.
Yep, it went straight up his pee hole.
So, yeah, no, solid banner from Nagoda. I really like the way it turns out, especially like the fancy smoke explosive side on Attack Titan side. Nice stuff, good stuff.
Birdman, I don't think you're editing the sequel. I sent it to Kaiju X.
Yeah. I had sent this one to Birdman initially, but I am going to be handling the sequels moving forward. So,
I'll just say I don't remember if I read this one or not, or if Harley read it.
Huh. So it just materialized. I remember I had it. I got it from someone. I don't know who. I thought I got it from you though, Alex, because he was called Rogue Titan back then.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I kept thinking Harley. It was sent to Harley.
No, because I had allowed Birdman to select, like, because I have a bet, like, even if Greyshot, like, I don't know, if something happened to Greyshot, I have a whole back catalog of matches that technically I still need to get to. But freaking, like, there are some I'm going to look over myself, absolutely, and then there are others I'll be, well, there are others I left open for Birdman to take, because he had, completely wiped out his side. So I was like, here, take some of these, and it was like, oh, okay, and among them was just this one, so I was like, alright, whatever. Then it's like, when I got the sequels from Alex, I was like, ah, crap. So I was like, alright, so I think I'll just have to get the notes from Birdman of what may need to be changed, or any possible changes, maybe. So, but I'll make sure to give, like, make sure the continuity's in order and all that fun stuff. So,
yeah. So, haha, Birdman, you don't get to read it.
Anyway, but yeah, no. Yeah, that'll, like, any sort of changes that need to happen will be more on my call at that point, with or without Bacon's permission. Nevertheless, or, if I have any questions, I'll go to him. So, it's like, yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, with that said, right, yeah, GVR has something to say real quick. He said to me, fun, simple match. Bacon's solo debut was a nice time. Good cooldown from the balls to the wall action of Gamma Month. For sure. No, absolutely. And that's what GVR had to say on that. So, I would assume Greyshot, did you have anything else to say about 301, or think you're good?
Yeah, a good banner by Nagoda. But minus that, not really too much else.
Alright, sweet. Yeah, Nagoda, what'd you think of 301?
It was really fun. I like how there's apparently a storm that I wasn't told to put in the banner.
Wait, a storm?
Yeah, apparently there was a storm, and one of the lightning bolts was the Attack Titan lightning bolt that came out of the storm.
Oh, right.
And then he just walks out of the storm fog.
Just do what I do. Blame Kaiju X and move on.
Yeah, the match itself was pretty fun. Like how Ultraman's electricity immunity came in, but that wasn't the problem with his current predicament, where he was trapped in the machine hand and he kind of needed to go recharge. So
right, it's like, yeah,
it's kind of hard.
Yeah, he may
when
not
you have to go do something.
All right, he may not be being electrified, but it's still preventing him from getting out. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, no. Anything else, Nagoda, or?
It was short but fun. Also, does anyone else see that blue like semicircle near Attack Titan's leg?
Yes.
What happened there?
That's what I want to ask you. What is that?
I don't remember that being there.
That wasn't.
It's a,
What
it's a
happened
bubble
to that?
shield from Halo.
What is that? I don't. What is that?
Yeah, what is that, Nagoda? Explain to us. Tell us now.
I don't remember. I don't remember that being there. What happened?
It's a bubble
something
shield from Halo.
banner or
What was that?
the guy like when the match first came out? I was like, oh look, it's my banner. Wait, why is there a circle?
Right. No, that's what I wanted to know.
I'm gonna see if it's like that on my DeviantArt page real quick.
I know the image of Osaka you used, so it might have just been there in the original image.
Well, here, Nagoda, if you want to provide us the evidence of your original, maybe we can figure it out.
Right, right.
I'm trying to load up DeviantArt right now. Anyone else want to talk while
Alright,
I'm opening
Birdman,
DeviantArt?
what did you think of match 301? Birdman?
He's typing.
Oh. I have a feeling it's okay, so there's the original image Nagoda used, because I know I've used it before, so that's how I kind of knew. It's like, oh hey, yeah, it was this one, so there's no ball. Where did it come from?
Yet.
Where did that ball come from? Why is it there? What is it?
The world may never know. But I guess on a side note, well, just in general, KWC matches are returning for the rest of the year to our 10-day schedule.
Yes.
So there shouldn't be any exceptions to that going forward.
So 5 days.
No, 10 days.
Every 10 days.
Well, 5 days from now, the next one will be out, is what Nagoda
Oh,
says.
yes.
So, yeah, no, totally.
Birdman said, pretty cool. Like the mystery surrounding the Attack Titan's appearance. Curious to see where Bacon takes the series in the future. I'm so jealous of him.
Okay, so most of that was true. Maybe like the last, 3 to 5 words. But yeah, no, totally. And I think that's a good way to set up something that I'm glad has more of a series to it, because otherwise it just would have been like, eh. But the fact that there is a continuation here is like, okay, no, that's... I hope it's good. It sounds promising. I hope for it to be awesome. So
It won't.
really, you're going there anyway.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
And Alex, what did you think of match 301?
It's disgusting, ugly. I'm gonna kill you. Give me $200. But no, this was a pretty good start to a series, and I think he did a good job setting up mystery, which will be explained later in like the following matches. Which again, he's done a pretty solid job, still kind of like creating this universe and giving us answers to the debut match. I will say the next match in this series is really good.
Sweet.
So I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, and who knows? It may or may not come out this year. Anyway, but yeah, no, yeah, I'm super looking forward to see how the sequel plays out for sure. I've been waiting to. I figured there were going to be some modifications to 301 before it got posted, so I didn't want to go over the sequel. Like, I had the sequel for a bit. I didn't want to go over until it was posted on the site, so that way it's like, okay, where are the changes? What changes are needed, so that way we just keep it consistent, you know?
I feel so stupid right now.
Wait, why?
Go on.
So I've been trying to get onto my DeviantArt to look for the image. When I have the folder open where all my banners are, I just need to
Yes,
look for it.
classic.
Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Oh, that's rich. That is rich. Yeah, no, do you have any additional thoughts, Alex, or...
No, I think he did a really good job for his first solo debut match.
All right. And expect more to come. Definitely expect more to come. So...
Come.
Gosh darn it. Anyway. Yeah, no. Nevertheless, and I think that's... Yeah, we had a KWCE that was posted just today, but I'd rather save that. Like, it's a short match, sure, and I know GVR has a comment with that, but we're going to save that for next KWCC. We're just going to save it for next time and just sort of go from there. So, anyway.
I won't read it.
Really? Oh, wait, now I know why. Now I know why.
Huh. The blue circle is there.
Nah, I'm fucking with you. I'll try to read it.
Okay, gotcha.
Why is the blue circle there?
Why is
I'm gonna open it in Photoshop real quick.
do you have the original PSD file?
Yeah, I have the original PSD file. Why is there just a blue circle?
Was it... I mean, it helps highlight...
Oh, it's part of the image.
Really?
Yeah, it's part of my background image.
Really?
That's weird.
And yet you forgot you put it there.
Yeah.
And yet we don't know why.
No, I mean, like, it's part of the actual picture itself.
Oh.
I think the site I got it on had, like, a mark there or something I tried to delete. I don't know.
Oh. Huh. Okay. Weird. What is the blue
That's
ball?
weird.
But yeah, no. This was, this was definitely, it's the Futurians, even though they are hundreds of miles away.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just like that one match I did where they fought in a big quarry, but the banner took place in a city.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure I'm the one that made that banner, so, or at least not made it, but like
You gave Dakota those.
I gave the permission, and I was wrong.
Greyshot, you clown. Anyway,
yes, how dare I?
Nevertheless, oh yeah, that's right. We gotta get that changed up. Anyway, but yeah, no. Nevertheless, yeah, I think that generally covers about everything KWC. And again, apologies for any sort of distractions or being taken away or possibly rambling on for too long. Just yeah. Anyway,
he lies. That's why you come here and listen to us.
Fair enough. Gosh.
Be on the lookout for a new series called Interrupt the Movie.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
It could be out maybe tomorrow. Could be out soon. Heck, could even be out before this podcast airs.
Possibly, or after this podcast airs, depending on how you. Oh wait, before. No, never mind. You're right. But this one's probably going to be a lazy man's edit, so maybe aside from one amusing thing, I'm looking at you, Birdman. Aside from that, it's like, yeah, this is definitely going to be a quick editing job today because I just want it to be here, there, and done, basically. Nevertheless, yeah, no. For the channel, as Alex said, we have a new series coming up called Interrupt the Movie, where we basically it's basically just us doing a commentary on the movie, so.
Yep. It's mixed with insightful commentary and jokes.
Yes. Whatever.
Our first episode, if you haven't already seen the preview, is Night of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm. So, that's going to be interesting.
The classic or like...
The classic.
The classic.
Okay.
You should join us for one sometime.
Yeah, our next two episodes are going to be Gamera vs. Barugon and Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. the Barugon episode is definitely going to be posted on August 18th to coincide with the Arrow Gamma box set.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, I know. Blast it.
And before Greyshot forces us to make a new Discord server because Interrupt the Movie and Morning Reads aren't KWC related. Exclamation point one, exclamation point one.
Anyway, Greyshot, did you have any sort of like additional, like anything to add? Maybe anything that's come up, or any announcements to make, or do you think we're good?
Not particularly with KWC, minus the fact that you guys mentioned the whole redesign, right?
Oh, right, like the whatchamacallit, yeah, that's right. I guess there is that little bit there. The redesign of the combatant statistics. Yeah, no, yeah, that's right. Yeah, my brother and I had been bouncing ideas around for a while of what to do. We figured 300 was a good time to give it an update because we had been meaning to really go back and update it. Because we used to have, like, animated records as in parentheses. But it was like, we knew that was just going to be temporary. It was just for the time being until we had found something. So, yeah, he and I were just bouncing around ideas. And ironically, the funny thing is that this current format actually took from the old KWC design, like the super, like before the 190 update, back when everyone was like 50 meters and junk. Yeah, no, this one was a really interesting, yeah, because we were trying to figure out what we could do, what we could implement, or how we could make it different from the past. And it also allowed us to, like, you know, give permission, like, you know, I had been working with Greyshot asking for, it's like, you know, should, like, you know, of new powers or new stuff we could apply to the monsters with this coming update. And it was like, yeah. And, yeah, like, you know, he was ultimately approving of, like, most of them. And it was like, it also, this new format, not only the key goal with the new format for the combatant statistics was to make it more mobile friendly. So if you like travel through, like, the old design that we had from 190, it may have looked fine on your desktop if that's what you use. It did not look great on mobile. Like, it was really awkwardly designed for mobile. So we had to redesign it to where it would fit that sort of mobile criteria. So that way, we now have something that's more streamlined, but also gives we can finally give all the information needed for the characters, including weaknesses, which I think is the first time we've had for the KWCs explicitly stated weaknesses. Because in a sense, weaknesses
are scales.
Right. And in a sense, like, giving weaknesses provides, like, you know, it provides an additional sense of, okay, this character is weak to this, or can be weak to it, depending on how the story goes. But, like, you know, it's like, all right, no, it's like there are weaknesses to consider with these characters when writing for them, and it's like, all right, and that's going to be really interesting to see how that goes moving forward, because I know some of the monsters do have, like, more explicit weaknesses, like Colossal Titan, for example. It's like, you know, he may be able to exert pressurized steam from wherever, but it consumes muscle tissue, and it's like, you know, stuff to keep in mind when you're writing with the character. And I think having, like, just a detailed sense of what they have, or what they're able to, or what they're weak against, I think is important to keep in mind. So I am super happy that we now have a new weaknesses thing for the monsters.
No, I can agree with that. It's a nice little addition that helps when it comes to someone's, like, having trouble. They can always go to the bios, but it's just a quick offhand, like, oh, right, yeah, that weakness, or this, or that.
Right. Of course, some of them will still require a bio overhaul, like Zone Fighter in particular. Oh boy, he has like 5 million moves.
And considering how we have newfound knowledge of it.
Yeah, totally, yeah. So that is in the works, but it is just gonna that's gonna take a while. It is gonna take a while. Yeah, no. So yeah, but yeah, this was overall. It also gave me the opportunity to update some of the monster images. Some of them I felt like didn't look great before, so it was just like, oh yeah, just do this with a little bit of Photoshop touching. Like the Angiers picture, Geigen's foot was in it, so I had to get rid of it. So yeah, no, but this was a really fun opportunity to just do something different or do something new. So yeah, can't complain. It's good stuff.
Awesome. I think it was a welcome addition, and I think it's gonna prove helpful and beneficial for the KWC going forward. I definitely can say that.
For sure. And as GVR has so adequately stated, Orochi can finally have his has his proper thickness. That is very true. Nevertheless, I think that's about it. I think, we ran a solid gambit of about 2 hours, and do we have anything else we want to say before we hop off for the night? / afternoon? Nothing? Alright.
Get better material!
But yeah, nevertheless, I know we had promised last time to do a KWC battle, but mentally I'm just a little exhausted right now. So
I feel like those are only good when we're all in the mood for them.
For sure. I really want to get back to one. It's just circumstances keep happening to where I'm either feeling tired or just again, like the situation where I had to leave for a couple of minutes. That was oh boy, that was something. Nevertheless, I think that'll about do it. So, yeah. So in the meantime, stay tuned for the next KWCC. We'll see you guys next time. All right, see ya.